Now, we got a nice message today from Wayne, and yesterday, of course, we spoke about the closure of the Kokoda track, which has been caused by a dispute between locals and the Papua New Guinea government over lost tourism royalties. There's almost $20 million caught up in all of this. Now, after the chat with Glenn Azar from Adventure Professionals, this great email from Wayne Wetherall, who sought to explain some of the history which feeds into the issue and when we could see the track reopen. Wayne also runs a trekking company called Kokoda Spirit. So I thought it was good to get him on to further elaborate. Wayne, good day, and thanks for sending us the notes. Good to talk with you.
Good on you, Gary. Thanks for listening to me, mate.
Well, always. We do our very best here, and there's a lot of competing views on this, but bottom line, we've got the Fuzzy Wuzzy Angels, the kind of legacy that they built, the way in which Australians correctly, emotionally are attached to what happened during the Second World War. It's right that we call it the Kokoda track, not the trail. That's the American version of that. But, I mean, what do you make of all of this? It's awful that money's owing to them. I understand why the landowners are angry.
Mate, I support the landowners entirely. And this is going back 2006, 2007, and into 2008, an agreement was done. There was going to be mining done halfway across the track in a place called Naro 1. And an agreement was done with the local landowners to compensate them, to allow the trekking to continue and compensate them for no mining happening. Some payments were made and then change of government, and then it seems to have been swept under the carpet and forgotten about until now. So it's a real issue for the people on the track. And this is about the people of PNG. This is about the legacy of the Fuzzy Wuzzies, as you mentioned earlier. It's about the PNG people getting what's rightfully theirs. It's a bigger story than just Australians walking Kokoda. This is about making sure that the PNG stakeholders, landowners, villagers are paid what's rightfully theirs.
So when the first news broke on all of this closure, there were some suggestions in the reports that we as Australians had sort of mucked it all up. You don't think so?
Mate, look, PNG it's a difficult environment to work in. And, you've got to have great fortitude to be a trek company in PNG. We've been there for more than 20 years, and there's lots of people who will say we could do this, we could do that. But fundamentally, this is PNG. This is someone else's country. It's not for us Australians to go in there and tell them how to run their country, how to run their organisations, how to run their track. We're visitors to their country. We respect their way of life and their laws. And, we've just got to be able to work with them closely and respectfully and find a way that benefits both the Papua New Guinea people and the people from Australia who want to walk in the footsteps of heroes. It's more than 82 years ago that the Australians and the Papua New Guineans were shoulder to shoulder, stopping a ferocious enemy stealing their land. So it's really, really important that we get this right. It's really, really important that we support the people of PNG and the landowners, to get what's rightfully theirs and to continue to be able to tell this story, about those that sacrifice ultimately for Australia and for PNG.
And because they're used to seeing us there, so they would probably be scratching their head and wondering why we wouldn't be supporting them. If we're constantly there, and you've had more than 100 treks along there. I think you even had people on the track when it was closed. I mean, we might talk about that. But let's face it, if we're there a lot, we're constant visitors. They would like to think that we're not there just exploiting the place. We're there working with them to make sure the place is properly revered.
Oh, absolutely, mate. Look, we employ hundreds of PNG carriers / porters and guides over there. It's a grassroots tourism. This is how the local people make a dollar. So, the closure of the track, for royalties is also affecting the normal people who rely on trekking, rely on Australians coming across there, rely on their income, to feed their kids, send their kids to school. So it has ongoing effects to everybody who's associated with the track. And it's important that we can resolve it very soon. And I reckon we're pretty close to seeing the track reopen in the not-too-distant future.
So I was going to say, when do you think? You reckon not too distant future? Do you want to put a sort of date, weeks, months, years? What do you mean?
It's going to be this year, mate. I don't have the crystal ball, but we're very close to to what's happening over there. And you said, I've got an office in Port Moresby there. My people are there, and we're hearing that communication is happening at the highest levels. Some fundamental agreements have been put in place. Everybody wants a positive outcome. That's the great thing here. Everybody wants this to move forward. Everybody wants to get this right. And we're hearing, some positive news. In my trekking company, we've rolled everybody over to 2025, except, we've got a few treks left in 2020 this year, and that I'll be taking out myself. So I'm really positive that we'll be back on the track. Let's take a punt and say sometime late October, certainly in November.
I'm not going to hold you to it one way or the other because sometimes things.
Crystal ball, mate, but I'm hopeful, mate. I'm living in hope.
Well, it's what a rabbi friend of mine once called ethnic mean time. So PNG operates in its own sort of time spaces, I guess.
The thing is there, mate, we are dealing with a government. I don't think it matters if it's in Australia or PNG. The government will work in whatever time the government works in. So, I guess it's probably just adds a little bit of extra layer that it being a PNG government. It may work slightly slow. I don't know, but
we'll find out.
I'm positive, mate. I'm Gary. I'm really positive that we're going to get some good resolutions in the very near future.
So tell me, Wayne, what was it like? What happened when the track closed and you had people on it? Your porters, as well as your customers, I guess. What did you do? How did you get them out?
Mate, I have to say, it took us all by surprise. Well, it certainly took us by surprise. I had a group of Queensland Emergency Services personnel on the track, which I guess, if you're going to have a little challenge on the track, they're probably the right people to have out there.
Yeah.
We had to stop them halfway across the track in the village. They knew. I kept talking to them what was going on. Eventually, we got them to a village, place called Cargi, where there's a little airstrip that runs off the edge of a little cliff, and we flew some planes in there, little charter planes, little 9-seater charter planes in there to pick them up and extracted them back to Moresby. And they were a little bit sad that the trek had ended, but really understanding and happy with plenty of food. And I have to say, our PNG porters were absolutely outstanding in looking after our people over there. That's when the spirit of the fuzzy wuzzies and that connection between Australia and PNG is so strong. Mm. Everyone just came together as one. Difficult circumstances, they came together. They got our teams off the track and back to Port Moresby safely. So whilst it's sad the track ended, it's a really positive and beautiful story between the people of PNG and Australia working closely together for a positive outcome.
Yeah, no, reassuring. So a group of problem solvers had a problem that they had to solve with you. I guess that's probably the way of summing it up. So do we book now for next year? Are you taking bookings?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. It's on. There's no question about it. The track is not finished. The track is there waiting for Australians. And this is a rite of passage for Australians. To walk in the footsteps of heroes is an extraordinary experience. And anybody out there who's thinking, will I, won't I? Just do it. It's going to be one of the greatest experiences of your life.
Yeah, I'm feeling like it's a bit of inadequacy for me because it ain't been done, but I'll never say never. Good on you. Wayne, thank you for reaching out to us. Good to talk to you today. Thank you so much.
Good on you, Gary. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, Wayne Wetherall, Kokoda Spirit. So it's good to know, isn't it? There's a couple of companies doing that, keeping Queenslanders safe as well as they travel that enormously historic and symbolic Kokoda track. 133 882. It's 4:30.